Chapter 14, Tintagel, Cornwall. The air was thick, as if it had been shepherded together and made to cower, low and deep, between the mountains by an tempestuous sheepdog. Elund opened her eyes but, within seconds, wished she hadn't. When she lay still, it hurt, and when she moved, it was agony. A hand went to her head, then trailed down her arm to her hand. Elund flinched. "She's alive at least, Tristan," a woman's voice. "Can you move?" The words came to Elund's ears. She turned her head and blinked towards the voice. Pale, bright hair caught her attention. Something clicked in her neck. Pain shot down her back. "Try not to move. The Druid say they will care for you." Elund shuddered, then closed her eyes again. The Druid were important as to why she could only see a blue and white sky field, and only a vague impression of the woman caring for her. One Druid, a high priestess, with magic. Somewhere, an arena broken bar. The name of her friend came with difficulty to her lips. "He died, Aled, so you might live." "You did, so much." A second voice, another that she knew. Elund closed her eyes, and sank into dreamless unconsciousness. 88,888,888. 2 days before, Tintagel Castle, North Cornwall. Palace of King Mark of Cornwall. "We welcome Bayard, King of the Mercians," spoke the King of Cornwall, in Dumnonia, and his bright retinue. As welcomes went, Elund had heard better and worse. The poison chalice was a welcome with a bitter undertone. She was to guard Innes until the moment she was wed. The princess was to become the Queen of Cornwall, and this should have been the end of it. Save the whispers. On their own, Elund would probably have ignored them, a name, a rumour. Yet the Cornish were meant to be the kin of those over the water, in Cymru Mor, Greater Wales, wherein was situated Camelot. But the place was beyond anything Elund had seen, and she, with Bayard's party, had crossed southern Britain, through Devonshire and across the land at the very north of Dumnonia into Cornwall. Writhing sea, below challenging rocks, Elund's view of the land had even caused her to betray her apprehension to an errand of a place almost otherworldly. They were passing over the thin strip of land that connected Tintagel to the mainland and reached for his arm in the howling wind. "I have been through worse," Aneurin told Elund, when they had got to the flatter land before Tintagel's palace. "I once went to Iceman, where the Druid kept their magical place." Elund knew. She had often wondered what it would be like there, the Britons and the Cornais having so much in common. As she guarded the door that night, as the princess dressed for her evening betrothal, Elund heard footsteps coming up the step. She folded her hand around the ashwood stave of the spear. But it was only Seren, and she had come, in addition to Princess Innes's cloak, some food for Elund. "I thought you would be hungry. I've not seen you eat all day." It was true, Elund had been guarding all day. But King Mark's household guard, along with Bayard's knights, were to be there. Aneurin and Aled and several other guards, who would be guarding in the morning, had been given leave to rest. So they watched Innes take her place beside her mother, and the Queen and Princess Iseult, and wondered, for the first time in so long, about Matthew, where he was at that moment and if, with the Druid, he was amongst their number. 88,888,888. The king was married before, Aled, Seren told her, as Elund brought food up to Princess Innes and Queen Scylla. The next morning, the princess would be in her finery and would be standing in the cliff-edged church of Street Perron, the waves and the sand to be their backdrop. Up at dawn as usual, Elund brought the tray. And that was all she could really remember. Awaking on the beach hours a broken bar. Days a broken bar. Later, her hand was damp from the sea. From a passing horse. Elund opened her eyes and strained in the light. She saw someone she knew. Then she closed her eyes again. 88,888,888. "Where will you go?" Seren, one of the half-dozen that had survived the massacre of Tintagel, sat beside Elund. Aled, there was a battle broken bar. The Druid here broken bar. The person sitting beside her spoke softly. Elund's knew here a broken bar. "We are here, sister." The voice, another, one she knew, came from beyond Seren's shoulder, beyond the change from cloth to the blue sky beyond. Ma broken bar illumined dried, her mind was numb, her words would nor form. Rest, came the voice of the woman beside her. You have been given some powerful herbs. Though she wanted to battle on, and make sense of her surroundings, Ilund closed her eyes as Seren closed a tiny hand over hers. Ilund dreamed of her home, with her father and mother, before the sick woman came to them, her aunt, her mother. Before life became complicated. She was back there, under the blue sky with the harvest in the field, before the Christians came, before Matthew left, when life was full of potent hope and unending happiness.